My son doesn't want to try hard at anything and is holding us emotionally hostage, because if we don't take care of him, he said he's going to end up homeless and is fine with that. My son is 23 years old, recently graduated with a mechanical engineering honors degree, and has no college debt. He doesn't want to do anything. He has a job at a bike shop 2 days a week and doesn't work more than that. He just wants to go to the gym and sit on his computer and phone. He has 2 younger siblings who have drive and direction, but he says nothing motivates him. For years, I thought he was depressed. He has been on antidepressants in the past and has had therapy. His most recent stint with a therapist ended after 20-plus sessions, and he told me they couldn't figure out why he is the way he is. Out of desperation, I spoke to the therapist, who told me he didn't think my son was depressed, but that things are hard for young men now and he needs time. He has been tested for ADHD and is on medication for it, when he can be bothered to collect the prescription. He doesn't believe he has ADHD, by the way. He has burned bridges with friends and is burning bridges with us. He makes his own meals and takes them to his room to eat, despite being told he has to be part of the family if he's living here. We charge him rent but made the mistake of telling him we were saving it for him when he moves out. Starting this month, I'm deducting money for bills and food. He is rude to his siblings, doesn't help out around the house, and does nothing to contribute to the family. I want to give my son purpose, and we've tried everything, and I mean everything. I have spent countless hours talking to him, asking how I can help. He doesn't know. I've suggested he take a year off to do volunteer work, travel abroad, or work a menial job until he figures out what comes next. He wanted to move to California, where we used to live, and settle in San Francisco until he realized he couldn't afford it. I can't bear the thought of kicking him out, but I see no other option. I feel like we are being held emotional hostages, and the stress is unbearable. I am so upset that one of my children is like this. I feel equally responsible and resentful. I'm terrified that if we kick him out at the end of the month, he will end his life, sleep on the street, or never talk to us again, but I am at the point where something needs to happen. It is ruining my life, my marriage, and my relationship with my other children. We have given him another deadline of the end of the month, but I am struggling to make it that far. Relevant comments. Commenter. I feel like I'm in the same position. I did what people told me to do, admit that I need help. I've been unmotivated for years. I sit in my room constantly. I only work 3 days a week, doing the bare minimum. Crap, I didn't even graduate high school. I admitted to my doctor that I needed help. I was constantly feeling terrible about myself, no purpose. In my case, I feel like I've let my family down. I feel like I don't fit in with them. They tried talking to me about it, but overall, it just felt like they were victimizing me, asking dumb questions like, "Why are you depressed?" I don't know. Part of it is purpose. Nobody needs me. If I disappeared today, sure, people might be sad, but nobody needs me. This might not be what your son's going through, but I thought it might help to get a perspective from someone in a similar situation. To be honest, though, he's doing way better than me. I'm 23 as well, living at home. Ops response. Hi there, and thank you so much for responding, it's really helpful. You sound very much like my son. I have no idea how to motivate him, and we're down to the wire. Perhaps having to put a roof over his head will be the motivation he needs, although when we talk to him about that, he says he doesn't care and that he'll be homeless. It's hard to know if he's serious or just being immature. He has never made any real decisions his whole life, and for one reason or another, we made some for him. We shouldn't have, we should have let him fail earlier on, but his dad couldn't do it. Now, my son doesn't know how to make decisions and has spent so long alone in his bedroom that he doesn't really know how to operate in the real world. This is why I'm worried about kicking him out, but if we leave things the way they are, he could still be living at home at age 30 or 40, and he isn't nice to live with, so it's not something I'm prepared to do. Update 5 months later. Up commenting on another thread posted in r/UK that was titled, How to Get My Child Moving in Life. Parent of a child in a similar situation until I took action. My husband took the same stance as you, that nothing much could be done. We disagreed to the point of real marital stress. I had an epiphany and waited until he left for a business trip, then tackled the problem. My house, my rules. I removed my son's computer, phone, and all other devices and stored them off-site. My 23-year-old threw a fit and stayed in bed for 3 days, not moving. I checked on him to make sure he was alive, took him coffee and food, and talked calmly. After day 3, he got out of bed, sulked, then went back to bed again. This time, I did nothing, no food, no water, no conversation. He stayed in bed in a dark room and wallowed. Of course, I was worried and checked for movement, but nothing more. After a few more days, he got out of bed and said he didn't want to live like this anymore. He agreed he needed a change, agreed he needed antidepressants, and started hanging out with the family. I gave him his phone only when he left the house. Want access to the internet? Go and get it, I will not provide it. That was in January of this year. By March, he was several weeks into antidepressants, was rebuilding his relationship with his siblings, was less angry, and had a job. Full disclosure, my husband made him go into the office with him every single day to look for work. My son did the bare minimum, but eventually, my husband found a job that looked interesting. He applied and got it. It's just a job, not a career path, but it has changed our world. My son now works full-time and has kept his old weekend job. He now works about 10 days in a row, then takes a day off, by choice. With his first paycheck, he bought some new clothes, the first in several years, and some accessories for his bike. He's also made friends at his new job and goes biking with the guys after work. He's found his passion for biking again. I cannot stress enough the utter relief we feel. I can now sleep at night and no longer worry about him. Sure, he needs to figure out a longer-term plan, but for now, we can sit back and watch him rediscover the world, and realize it's actually quite a nice place. You can do more. You can give her purpose. Stop facilitating her lifestyle. Take away her internet access. It could be the motivation she needs. Good luck, I know it's hard. Second update 6 months later. Up here again. I want to provide an update for any parents in the same boat who stumble upon this thread. It's been a year since my original post, and our lives have changed unrecognizably for the better. After my son started work, his confidence grew, and his self-esteem improved. He had purpose. Over the last year, we kept revisiting the move, and sometimes things got heated, but we stuck to our guns until we gave him a hard deadline. The deadline came, and we made him leave the house. It was so hard, we didn't sleep for 2 days, and my husband caved and asked him to come back. The shock of us making him move into a hotel had the desired effect. It took several more months and lots of reminders, but he eventually found a place on his own and moved out last month. He is now living independently, just a few minutes from his work, and is loving it. He enjoys earning money and paying his own way. He has experienced buying a washing machine, learned how to plumb it in, and understands that sometimes you have to take a day off work to accept deliveries. He is learning that no one is going to unpack the boxes but himself, and that if he wants food, he has to go and buy it, even if he's tired. We offer our help and have, of course, helped a lot, but we haven't picked up any pieces. This is all on him. And best of all, our relationship is getting back on track. He comes over every Sunday for dinner, hangs out, and catches us up with his news. He is feeling so good about himself and loves standing on his own 2 feet. Relevant comments. Commenter. It turns out that many people are weirdly happier and feel more purposeful when working, even at a crappy job, compared to having no job at all. I spend most of my work shift dreaming about playing video games, and I resent having to waste the best part of my life slaving away at my desk. But when I'm unemployed and just screwing around, those video games really don't keep me entertained. They become just something to do to pass the monotony of doing nothing important. However, I treasure my time playing after work when my wife and I are side by side, enjoying it together. Commenter 2. I think this sort of hopeless, unliving existence is on the rise, at least in the US and other Western countries. Lots of young people just don't have lives to start with. Our economy is screwed, there's no reason to believe hard work will ever pay off in the way we were promised, and pure distraction is pushed at us from every screen, and there are a lot of screens around. It's also definitely a privileged affliction. People who don't have parents to subsidize their non-existence obviously have to work enough to pay for their essentials, even if they're still depressed or purposeless. I think it also stems from the disparity between how middle-class kids expected adulthood to look and what living in our society is actually like. If you expected to get your degree, immediately land a solid job, and begin pursuing a spouse and family, hitting the real world today must feel like crashing into a brick wall at full speed. I have family and friends stuck in this same sort of hole, and it's terrifying to see someone you love trapped in what seems to be a type of suicidality. They don't feel like there's any point in living, but they're not miserable enough to actually take action to harm themselves, so they live in a constant, feckless fog, trying to distract themselves from the pain.